At a high level, Polkadot is a platform that allows diverse sets of chains to talk to each other in a trust-free fashion.
Hi, I'm Bryan Colligan from Alphagrowth. Today we're here at Starfish Labs, part of San Francisco Blockchain 2018. Jack from Polkadot. Jack, how are you?
Good, Bryan. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Good.
Jack, tell me about Polkadot.
Sure. So at a high level, Polkadot is a platform that allows diverse sets of chains to talk to each other in a trust-free fashion.
How did Polkadot get started? Like, why did you get started on Polkadot?
Sure. So Polkadot was started several years ago as a paper, and the idea was Gavin Wood is the founder of Polkadot, and he was the co-founder of Ethereum and the first CTO. And Ethereum had multiple papers, the white paper, the yellow paper, the mauve paper, and he decided to extend that further to a further extreme and call it the Polkadot paper. So it was meant to extend Ethereum's capabilities beyond what was presently possible. And so he wrote that paper a couple years ago, and since then we've started to implement that paper in the core protocol.
Interesting. So how big of a variant from Ethereum is Polkadot?
Sure. So from Ethereum today, there's substantial differences, and things like scalability are addressed in the Polkadot protocol. Things like interoperability are addressed with the protocol, and but to Ethereum 2.0 is what they're calling kind of a catch-all term for Casper and sharding and these sorts of things. It's not that different, but it does have some differences. Instead of shards, as in Ethereum, where there's pieces of the blockchain in every homogeneous, so similar shards, Polkadot is heterogeneous, which means that the shards are different. So these are different state machines, meaning they're their own blockchains.
Interesting. And then so these blockchains communicate together and they can form consensus, and this is beneficial for scalability and speed?
Sure. So the idea with Polkadot was to make a scalable blockchain. And one of the benefits to our solution is you actually get these really cool interoperability characteristics by allowing, under one security umbrella, all of these chains to form a network.
When you say interoperability among these chains, are these the chains of the shards from the kind of the Polkadot variants or chains, or the other chains like that are on different kind of consensus protocols?
Sure, so it can be both.
Interesting.
So Polkadot really tries to do a good job of staying as general as possible and making no assumptions as to the blockchains or non-blockchain structures that are included in the network, or how they interact in terms of the messaging format and so forth. So you can have legacy chains like Ethereum and Bitcoin become a part of the network by way of something called a bridge, or you can have native parachains that are built for the Polkadot platform and have consensus handled by the Polkadot relay chain, which is kind of the hub to the spokes, if you will.
Interesting. So is it its own chain? It's its own token? Like, when you guys launched, was it kind of like a middleware?
So Polkadot is its own chain, and it has a native token. And without the token and the chain are a little. You can't really separate them. One doesn't really work with the other in the sense that the token's used for a number of things to operate and make the network run. So in that sense, they're distinct.
In terms of the consensus algorithm, is there mining? Is it proof of stake? Is it like delegated proof of stake? What kind of consensus algorithm?
Sure. So the incentive mechanism for to run the network is proof of stake.
Cool.
And the consensus algorithm, we actually just released a paper on this, is the finale gadget's called Grandpa. So it's kind of to the ancestor, or the older blocks, paying homage to the blocks that came before the best block.
the great grandpa.
Exactly, they had fun with it.
That's fun. All right, cool. So you're out here at San Francisco Blockchain Week. What are you guys like trying to accomplish? Who are you trying to get in contact with?
Yeah, we're trying to meet a lot of other projects.
Yeah.
Because we're entering a phase of development where Polkadot is developer ready.
Yeah.
So meaning other projects or teams or just individuals can start playing around and actually building on Polkadot using this really easy toolkit called Parity Substrate, which makes it's kind of like a blockchain in a box plus a VM. So it handles tons of that for you. So we're meeting folks and explaining that offering because we think it's really compelling for developers. And otherwise just having fun. Enjoying San Francisco.
That's awesome. And so, Jack, if people want to reach out to you, learn more about the project, how can they get involved or reach out?
Sure. So polkadot.network is the website, and @polkadot.network is the Twitter handle. And there's links there to wikis that have lists of resources of information, so you can learn everything from governance to how the consensus algorithm works. My name's Jack, and I work at Web3.
That's awesome. Thank you, Jack.
Thanks, Bryan.
Awesome.